outside the Azteca were on fire. And I mean that almost literally. Here's what the broadcast carefully did not show you. Outside the ground, around 200 hooded protesters clashed with riot police. Molotov cocktails, bottles filled with flammable liquid were thrown. At one point, demonstrators stormed the stadium near Gate 8. Police locked the area down. A 28-year-old woman was arrested, then later released. There was even an incident at a city fan zone that authorities had to defuse, and the protesters were not there for nothing. Thousands of teachers marched through Mexico City demanding better pay and pension reform, many of them traveling in from other parts of the country, setting up camps near the historic center, timing it deliberately to land on the day the whole planet was watching. Families of the disappeared carried signs and used the world's biggest stage to demand the attention nobody's given them for years. Some of those demonstrators held photos of the missing, and locals were furious that the city got a glossy World Cup makeover, new paint, upgraded facades, beautification projects for the TV cameras, while the deeper problem sat right behind the fresh coat of paint. Protest camps on one street, a freshly polished tourist showpiece on the next. And then there were the tickets. Some fans said they paid over $3,000 to watch their own national team, priced out of their own stadium. The giant fan zone in the Zocalo nearly turned into a crush before slamming shut at capacity with more than 50,000 people inside. The party was happening. A huge chunk of Mexico just wasn't invited. And then, the football out-chaosed all of it. It started fast. Inside 10 minutes, South Africa's Sfefalo Scythehole made a mess of a touch on the edge of his own box. Julian Quinones pounced with a low right foot into the net. 1-0. The first goal of the 2026 World Cup, gifted by an error. Now remember who South Africa even were on this night. This is a team that nearly did not get here. A stranded flight in Johannesburg, a visa crisis for their entire traveling party, told they might miss the match they were now playing in. And they did not fold, but then the cards started coming. Scythehole, the man who gifted the opener, was shown a red card. South Africa were down to 10 men. And here's the thing, a team that had just gone behind, lost a man, and traveled halfway across the world through a logistical nightmare could easily have crumbled. South Africa did not. They kept their shape, they kept pressing, they even carved out a chance. Thabang Matuludi got a shot away, straight at the Mexican keeper. This was not a team rolling over. And then came the moment of the night. Raul Jimenez, 35 years old. 6 years ago he fractured his skull in a collision in England. Emergency surgery. Real doubt he would ever play again. He came back wearing that protective headguard that is now basically part of who he is, and he kept scoring, all the way to becoming one of the highest scorers in Mexico's history. Then, just months before this tournament, he lost his father. And there he was scoring his first ever World Cup goal at the Azteca, at his fourth World Cup, pointing to the sky, in tears. 83,000 people understood, in real time, exactly what they were watching. Whatever else happened on this night, that was real. And then it completely unraveled. South Africa substitute Themba Zwane was sent off after a VAR review for catching Mexico's Alvarado in the face. That is 2 reds for South Africa, down to 9 men. Then, in stoppage time, Mexico's Cesar Montes lunged in on Kuliso Mudau and saw red himself. 3 red cards, 9 men against 10. Final score, Mexico 2, South Africa 0. For context, the last time a World Cup match got this ugly was the infamous Battle of Nuremberg in 2006. That game produced 4 red cards, the all-time record. The 2026 opener came 1 card short of equaling a benchmark of chaos that had stood untouched for 20 years in Game 1. And the referee? Brazil's Wilton Sampaio had his own viral meltdown, and this one's almost too perfect. FIFA's big new idea for this tournament was simple. Referees explain VAR decisions out loud over the stadium microphone, so the whole crowd hears the reasoning. Transparency. Sounds great. So Sampaio walked over to the pitch side monitor, reviewed Zwane's red, picked up the mic to explain it to 80,000 people, and his English just buckled. The explanation came out garbled. Half the stadium had no idea what he had actually said, and the clip was racing around the internet before the final whistle had even gone. A transparency tool that produced pure confusion. Honestly, you could not write a cleaner metaphor for FIFA's entire night. And while we are at it, FIFA mandated cooling breaks so players could hydrate. The same FIFA that, a week earlier, tried to ban fans from bringing their own water bottles into the venues, only to reverse that decision after a political backlash. Players got a guaranteed water break. Fans were